welcome back to Milton Mo Junction. A bit of an apology, anyone waiting for an update. It's been a bit of a while, but obviously it's been really warm up here, too hot to work, and also I've had lots of other jobs to do. It's a funny time of year when it's been hot, and lots of work to do in the garden, the construction of a new decking, etc. So I just haven't had the chance to come up here, not to work for any period of time anyway, but I'll just show you quickly what I've done. And I've put endings onto this end, the last ones, it's got to be painted, and as I mentioned in the last video, I've extended these as well. I haven't put endings on these because I don't want to make it too hard to get my hand underneath. So there's these two here, haven't got endings but have been extended, and these two have been extended and have put endings, which obviously need to be painted to match the rest of them on the other side. And those of you that can see will see I've made some changes to that great expanse of white. Oh, before we come to that, I've also took a bit of advice from one of our subscribers who mentioned George Wyatt, who suggested rather than just pinprick and cut slightly the creases I had on the backboard, on the back seam, to do a complete slit with a sharp knife down and then press the air out that way. I was a bit hesitant to do that, but finally tried a bit on an obscure piece of back seam that I didn't think would show, and that does seem to be the way. It's made the creases, in fact I've even a lot better. I've even gone onto this side and done the same thing, so thanks for that, George. Obviously the back seam's under immense pressure from heat and cold, so I expect there will be some creases showing, so we'll just have to deal with that when it comes to it. But in the meantime, I've sorted out most of that problem. As you can see though, most of the work has been done really deliberating what to do here. I decided that there was too much concrete, and to cut it down, what I've done is put the two fueling bits on small bits plastic. I wanted them raised to a certain degree, but not as much as putting them on top of the full plastic, the full length. I was going to cut down into them, but rather than do that, as you can see, I've shortened the plastic. It doesn't go anywhere near them now. I've raised them up a bit on a concrete, on a foam board piece, which I've painted grey. That will be obviously weathered and oiled, so it'll look completely different to that when it's finished. I was just doing that for the height, but the rest of them I've cut down. Still haven't painted or sprayed yet, because I'm trying to sort of get a nice concrete look in the first instance anyway. And I'm still deliberating on what to do over here. As you can see, I've taken one track off. I don't know whether to put a buffer on the end of that one and just call it a day for that, or to run it to the other end as it was. As you can see, I've got the plastic in the middle all ready to go, but I'm trying different things. I want a building somewhere to block any view, see if I can show you, to block any view of the hole. At the moment it's a box, but it gives me an idea of a size I need. I really want some sort of storage building, pretty much that size, but maybe we'll have to scratch build something, although I'm not very confident on scratch building, so I'm trying to get something that can adapt to it. And the other decision I'm having to make is what to do about this far track. As I said, I think in a previous one, I've done away with the idea of having a back cut or a back parcel depot along the back seam, a thin one, you know, just showing it, because there's literally no room there to do it now. And low relief is what the word I'm thinking of. So what I thought now was this inner track here. I think I might have mentioned it earlier. This one here, to make that a sort of delivery track, but purely for the depot. So I'm thinking of a sort of platform or a decking along there where it can be unloaded or partly unloaded. Ideally it would have been nice to have a sort of goods yard, although it won't truly be a goods yard, but a goods yard type building. But I've been messing around with the plastic, or to be the concrete, so I've got to make a decision on what building before I finally lay all the plastic, or paint the plastic and lay the plastic. So that's taking up a bit of time, finding the right building or the right shape and deciding what to do there. But that's taking up a lot of time really, when I've managed to get up here. So obviously there's still the engine shed, which needs lots of work on the inside at least, and I'll just plod on and hopefully show you this video, or upload this video when I finish a bit more of it a bit later. But I'll try and do a bit more work before I upload this video, and so speak to you later. Bye. Okay, as mentioned in the last or the beginning of this video part, I said I'd do a little bit more work before I uploaded it. It's been a little while since I started it actually, but I haven't done a lot more, but I have made a few more decisions. I've come to the decision that the best way to cover up that hole in the back seam where the track disappears through it is to move the depot over one line. So the line was already there. All I had to do was extend it a little bit, change some of the foam board underneath, cut a few little bits of extra length, change it around, and that now completely covers the, I mean, if you can see, I'm not sure, it completely covers the hole, so I can have trains disappearing around the back and it can't really be seen, so I'm quite pleased with that. I've also done a little bit of ready to run a building kit bashing, or whatever you want to call it. Bought a very cheap Bachmann store building, and I've taken all the supports off it, so it's now excuse me, it's now at ground level. Cut it around a bit, so that's now just going to be a store for any of the parcels and goods and bits and pieces that are delivered by the trains and the parcel service, etc., to the depot. It's just another building, and it covers up a little bit more as trains disappear around the back. I've been playing around with the foam board underneath it. It's not quite finished, there is a little bit more work to do. I'm going to probably cut, I mean it's all in bits at the moment. I wanted it on plastic, or sorry, keep calling it plastic, foam board, because I wanted it raised to the same level as the depot. So I've cut some bits of foam board to raise it, but I will sort of do one piece of foam board so there's not too many joins in it, hopefully. Once I've got the shape that I want it, I'll probably shorten that rail a little bit more as well, so that I can fill in the space there. It makes it look a little bit better, and all in all there's not a lot more concrete in the form of foam board that's going to show, because most of it's underneath the building. So that's that. The other thing I've done is I've bought some kit bits from what is it, Skytrex, enough to make about 2 foot of this sleeper, wooden sleeper goods platform, or whatever you want to call it, depot platform. So that will extend along here about 2 foot, just enough to unload a few wagons onto it. There'll be a ramp at this end at the moment, and I'll probably just have steps at the other end. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. I might even have a fence in between the sort of working area here and the platform, or the loading bay, or whatever you want to call it, so that it separates it from this diesel thing. But I haven't fully made a decision on that yet. But at least I can get on now and get this board cut and painted, hopefully. I still needs a lot of work on the depot itself, on the inside, and that can be done at a later stage anyway. It needs some more support along the inside on the sort of base, because that's starting to bend a little bit, so I need a more solid support to hold that in position. Also got to do some rafters or something inside, paint inside, but as I say, if I don't fix that down, as long as I know the position of it, I can do that remotely. So yeah, I've got that to do, but in the sort of the more urgent thing is building up this platform, working out the correct height, whether to put the ballast underneath it or ballast around it, cutting that last bit of foam board to shape, cutting that rail back a little bit more so that the foam board can go right across to where that track is. All in all, there's enough to keep me going. It's got quite nice up here at the moment, temperature wise. I've still got quite a bit of things to do outside of the loft anyway, you know, not anything to do with the railway. So hopefully I'll get back a bit quicker than I have on this, fairly quickly, but who knows. So can't think of anything more. I mean, I've done a fair bit in so much as designing, really. I know it's a bit Mickey Mouse, but I'm sort of enjoying pottering, and as I've said previously, my main point of the layout is to sort of play with my diesel collection, I guess. So I'll continue with that. You may have noticed in the title section that I've got a new engine, and that is that Class 20. That was the star of that, so really pleased with the way that sounds and looks. But anyway, I'll upload this at the moment. Any comments, please feel free, and thanks for watching, and subscribe if you wish. For the time being, bye for now. Bye.